box that the cubelets come in, and I'm going to give you a little introduction to all of the different cubelets. And they come in 3 groups. These 3 cubelets, or 5 cubelets, are all think cubelets. They help with controlling. The one that you will always need is this navy blue cublet. And it is the battery cublet. You need to make sure to turn it on. If it's charged, it has a green light. If you're not using it, make sure you turn it off. These also come with a charging cord. The next one is our blocker. This blocker cublet, it's a dark green, will pass on power but stops communication between other blocks. So you may want to use the blocker cublet to separate different parts of your robot, allowing you to create smaller modules within a larger system. It's especially helpful if you are making a fancy or complex robot that has multiple functions or jobs. Our next think cublet is our Bluetooth cublet. Now, we won't be using this in this lab, but this can be added to your robot, and then you have Bluetooth capabilities where you can turn a phone or an iPad or a Kindle into a remote control. Next, we have our inverse cublet. We're going to be using this over the next 2 days, and it's always opposite day for the inverse cublet. This cublet inverts the value it receives from a sense cublet, which you'll learn about in a minute. So you will use this if you want your robot to do something or the opposite of something, the inverse of it. And our last think cublet is our passive cublet. This guy just allows content or data or power to flow right through it without changing anything. You will want to use this if you need to maybe help balance a tippy robot or make it taller or wider. It's just to help extend the size of something. So those are our think cubelets. Next are our sense cubelets. We have a brightness cublet, looks like an eyeball. And this will control movement depending on how bright it is in the room. Maybe a flashlight could be used to make it bright and then turn off the light. So that's the brightness cublet. And then we have 2 of these. These we will be using. The distance cublet. So it's using an infrared light sensor, and it detects how far it is from an object. So it will move depending on how close or how far something is from it. So these are the distance cubelets, and they look like 2 little eyeballs. Our final set are called act cubelets. We have 2 of the drive cubelets. They have wheels on the bottom. Now, one thing about these wheels is they only move in one direction, so depending on how they are, you need to make sure the wheels are moving in the same direction. Or if they're like this, I wonder how the movement would change in your robot. That's something you can explore later. We have a rotate cublet. This rotate cublet will spin, so you might want to add some great motion by adding maybe the passive cublet to it, and it'll just spin around. These sets also come with this Lego extension. If you have some Legos at home or in your classroom, you can build a fun creation to snap on top. So this just spins or rotates. And our last but not least cublet is our flashlight cublet. And we will be using this one today. It shines a flashlight once it's hooked up to a think and a sense cublet. It will light up just like a flashlight. So those are the different cubelets you will be using in this lab today and on day 2.